that's sort of sad. I had to pull my own elitism. I know Daryl, and he trusts my sincerity. We worked on stuff, so he let me into that type of clique. And now he's gonna get shit for it. But I had to pull my elitism in order to get access. You guys wouldn't have been able to get access.
Yeah.
Another thing, the front desk people want to sign you in, but that lady recognized me because I worked with them before.
Right.
Yeah. From my last list. Technically, I wasn't even allowed to get into the building, let alone their second barrier of entry.
Yep.
That's part of like endemic in the movement. I'm not saying it's malicious. I don't want to, criticize people, but
yeah, I mean, I'm gonna say
these are flaws in an organic system.
I'm gonna say this over because I wasn't recording when I said it. But yeah, so basically when I walked in there, I figured, this is the one of the hubs, the supply center for 99%. I figured they would want, as part of spreading their movement, like they would be embracing video. But I totally got the opposite feeling. It was more of like kind of felt cliquish, a little bit snobbish.
Who are you? What are you doing? And that might come from like a tendency, like people have to, they're fearful of all these government, all these laws coming out against activism But I figure the government's going to find out as much about you as they want. So the only person you can hide information from is your fellow organizers or the public. Like what you said, if you're in a movement, you want to spread the word as much as possible. And that's what when I first came here, I had that naivety, that we're all sharing information and spreading it, and we're all encouraging each other. And then when you realize that no, people are sort of like sheltered and protective of like their own little cliques or their own little resource that they've squatted on. And I think it's a human nature thing we have to overcome. It's not really, it's that part of that introspection. It's not that there's bad people, it's that this is a part of human nature that we have to learn how to work around. And it comes from not having a formal structure, maybe from the sociology I've read, like from that essay I was reading. But I don't know, it's interesting. You get what Rocco was saying about what his thoughts on it?
Could you briefly do a synopsis? For
yeah, I think Rocco just said that like you just got that feeling of, oh watch out! You got that feeling of exclusivity, and he said that Daryl was probably going to get shit for like giving us an interview.
No, he's definitely gonna get shit for it.
Oh yeah.
Like it already started before I left the room.
Oh, you know why? Because a couple of those people actually like just personally have like a little vendetta against me. So.
That may be. And I mean, there are people who don't want to be photographed for personal reasons.
Yeah. But I figured this isn't for commercial purposes. It's just like
Oh no. That's that's certainly part of why Daryl's gonna get shit. It's because it's your thing and not OWS per se.
But isn't that weird? So now we have a brand, and that's what I want to ask about like the GA tonight. We have a brand that's sort of strong.
Well, let me ask you, what
this is closed down today? What's going on? Lenten retreat. Wow.
Oh. So what exactly?
This place is closed down for the time being. That sucks. This place usually people used to come here to organize. That's why Yuri was over there at the space, because Yuri usually comes here. So this is a place where like people come, like there's tables inside you can sort of see, and there's like Wi-Fi, there's like tea, sometimes we bring food here. And you can just hang out from noon to 6, Monday through Friday. There's like an open community office. And I come here after I stopped going to the occupied office. And it's put on by Trinity Church. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a public space they provide.
I guess they're taking a break from us. We definitely tax their resources. This is mostly occupied people who'd be here, but when they're supposed to be for the community. And also some of our people are like really respectful. A lot of us are though, so I'm not going to say it's too good or too bad. But they had their hands full with us, and it looks like they needed a break. That's cool.
So basically, what kind of antagonistic things have you done?
Have I done?
Yeah, that might make them might give you a reputation for walking in.
Most recently I was really pushing for an audit of the finance working group. Well, I guess I started Occupy Farms, and then I was a financial point person, but then I used the money. We passed a budget through the GA, $3,000, and I had most of that, or I had it just sitting on me. I was just cashing people out for receipts and stuff. And I did like financial reports a couple weeks, and then towards the end of like the second week, I used it to buy a laptop, and the people in the group didn't like that. I told them I did it, and it's because I was trying to get our website off the ground, and I told them my deal was we're gonna throw in a donation button, we'll get the money back. You guys won't even care. they're like, no, you're using it to benefit yourself. And I said, all right, it's returnable. I'll return it in 2 weeks. It's JNR. And they said, return it tomorrow. So I dragged my feet, but I returned it within like 2-3 days. They got mad, so I turned over my financial point person status. I said, fine, we have different views on money. You guys don't think financial point person should be able to do something like that. Here, you guys handle the money, I'm out of it, wipe my hands clean. And then they got mad at some of the receipts. They said everything wasn't accounted for, and I told them we accounted for a lot of it, but you know, you're not gonna account for every single receipt. Like I cashed people out whether they had a receipt or not, so.
Yeah.
It was like, out of $3,000, maybe a couple $100 that we didn't have receipts for. But I live pretty austerely, so like, but that's something that like people started to snipe at, but like luckily I backed out. And then, let's see, so finance, well, the buy-in proposal, I proposed that we take all the money in the general fund, divide it amongst all the occupiers. And people didn't like that idea, so that started like a little bad opinions about me. But more and more I'm coming back to that as like a good idea. I'm glad I mentioned it for like the historical record, but, and then most recently I've been trying to audit the finance working group, but I've been doing it a little bit antagonistically. Someone leaked the December bank account statements, and I actually took it a step further and posted them online, posted them on Facebook. We're not having this discussion about like holding ourselves accountable to the values, like practicing what we preach. And the finance working group here in Occupy Wall Street is very opaque. It's very hard to join them. I've repeatedly asked to join them. I don't even really want to do it, but like I was trying to like make a point that like we're not practicing what we preach, and we're excluding people. This elitism, and my criticism of Occupy Wall Street, a lot of accounting working group embodied a lot of them. So, but the way I was having the discussion, a lot of it was online, and a lot of it was like vitriolic back and forth, name calling and stuff like that.
Cool.
So,
All right.
but does that make sense, or?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Any